to welcome you to the One Thing podcast. I missed the last one.
You returned, Dwayne.
I've been back. I've returned. I'm Dwayne Roberts, my lover co-hostess.
And wife, Jennifer Roberts. Hey.
It's great to be with you guys. We're excited to have Mr. Brian Kim.
Excited to be here.
If you've been tracking with us for a while, you would have, Brian's done a couple podcasts with us.
This is his first video with both of us, I think, though.
Okay.
And one time in the audio, I did make reference to Brian having a gold tooth, like on the front, but he doesn't. So now you know I was a big, fat liar.
But I do have one on the side that I just told her about today.
But we actually call that a filling. But, oh well. So we're not going to mess with Brian too much today. He's fasting.
But for those of you who have not checked out the podcast, it's your first time with us. Our heart in the reasoning behind the podcast is to really equip and to train.
Right.
In the messages that IHOP is really laying forth for the 18 to 25-year-olds to walk into this time. And to give you, you've never been on the podcast before. I was in 10 years in missions, late 20s moved here, and the teaching that I have received in the last 8 years has had a radical impact on actually how I live and manage my life, my time, my money, everything. And so that is what we are really wanting to help instruct this generation. If you're jaded, bored, apathetic towards God, there's no need to live that way.
And hungry, too.
Absolutely.
We like hungry.
So Brian, though, Brian has a specific, really in this last, probably 6 months, something like that, the Lord's put something on his heart. So that's what I'm going to flush out today with us, called the Luke 18 Project.
Yes.
What in the world is Luke 18 Project?
Well, Luke 18 Project is a prayer movement that exists to raise up 10,000 young pioneering leaders to plant prayer furnaces all across the earth.
It comes from Matthew 25, right?
It comes from Luke 18, verses 1 through 8.
Okay.
Sure, where
It
Jesus,
sounds like. Got it.
where Jesus speaks of a parable and Luke gives the commentary in the first verse. Thank God for Luke telling us what Jesus is talking about
Yeah,
sometimes.
totally.
Yeah. But in Luke 18, verse 1, it says, Jesus taught this parable that men always ought to pray and never to lose heart. And then he lays out the parable of a persistent widow, the unrighteous judge, but how through her persistence in the place of prayer, day and night, night and day, she got justice from her adversary, from even the unrighteous judge. And Jesus is using this as a parable to show how the persistence of prayer is even a definition of faith in his own estimation.
Wow. So right now, how many exist?
Right now?
Yeah.
Oh, you mean in regards to Luke 18 Project?
Yeah.
We've got them on campuses scattered wherever we've gone so far. We had over 400 people show up to our leadership summit.
Wow, that's huge.
So from there, they're really beginning to energize the movement. We were just in Boston maybe about 3-4 weeks ago. And we met with about 60 leaders on the college campuses. And you know, we are connecting with groups at MIT. There's a group in MIT that before school even started, the semester even started this spring, they spent a full week of 24/7 prayer with just 12 dudes. Just 12 guys did 24/7 prayer for the full week.
Wow.
And so we connected with them.
That's
and
impressive.
No, you know, there's a guy in Boston University, my friend David Hill, he's leading a prayer group up there and a church planting group where they're just praying they just finished a 40-day season of early morning prayer where they gathered at 6 o'clock in the morning, meaning these students have to wake up at 5 a.m. to get to the place where they're all meeting together. And, you know, when we were there, originally they said it was about 10. When we were there were probably 20. And I know the number's only grown since then at Boston University. So we've got them kind of situated all over the place in college campuses, and that's really our focus, we feel like, through 2012. For the next 5 years is to get a prayer furnace on the 2,600 four-year full-time universities in America.
So 2,600 of them, and the goal is on everyone to have a representation in the regards to prayer.
Absolutely, and it doesn't necessarily even have to be that you're one of our chapters, so to speak.
Right.
You can do them if you're in Campus Crusade, InterVarsity, Chi Alpha, all the different ministries that already exist out there. We just want to be a servant ministry and resource them in that place. But if there's not anything existing on that college campus, we want to help you start something on the college campus related to day and night prayer.
So why pray on a college campus?
Well, right now what we're seeing is our evangelistic efforts, our discipleship programs, we've redoubled our efforts in every single area, but we're still somehow losing a generation to the spirit of the age, the spirit of the world. And we're losing them, and we know that Jesus lays it out that the place of faith, the place of prayer day and night, night and day, actually brings breakthrough and
Right.
gives us justice.
Right.
And justice could be anything. It's justice against sickness is healing. Justice against unrighteousness is holiness breaking out, among people. All
Right.
kinds of things could be justice. But we know that Jesus defined it in that way, that through day and night prayer,
Right.
he would give to us justice from our adversary. And so we encourage young people, pray day and night, because prayer really matters. It's
Right.
not just a fairy tale or a good storybook. Prayer, when we pray, angels and demons move.
Right.
God moves at the sound of our voice.
Right.
However he administrated his government, however he decided it to move, he decided that it would move at the sound of our voice in partnership with him.
That's awesome.
And so we're just encouraging young people on the college campus, partner with God.
Yeah,
At the end
yeah.
of the day, just talk to him and dialogue with
Yeah.
him. I love the way Mike puts it. All that prayer is, all that intercession is God tells us what to tell him, and we just say back to him.
Right. And that's easy
So easy
and enjoyable.
and enjoyable.
Yeah. And college campuses really are a microcosm of the world.
Absolutely.
I mean, so many major leaders of other nations were educated in the States or other Western places.
Absolutely.
If we have a prayer furnace happening, in essence, we have opportunity to change the impact of a nation because a future king is there or a future president,
Absolutely.
prime minister.
You take Harvard alone, and how many heads of state
Yeah.
have come through Harvard. We have a prayer group, a Luke 18 group on the campus of Harvard University,
That's
where
awesome.
they're praying every day in front of a philosophy building or inside of a philosophy building
That's awesome.
that says, "What is man that thou art mindful of him?" engraved on the philosophy building, where we've gone away with humanistic ideologies, liberal
Right.
philosophies. No, there is a group praying on
Yeah.
the campus of Harvard saying, "God, touch our fellow peers, our
Yeah.
students on this campus." So it's pretty exciting.
That is
what's
exciting.
going on, and knowing that if you can touch the universities, you can touch the ends of the earth.
Yeah,
because they
totally.
all, like what you said, even I'm talking about unreached people groups in the earth. They will send their students to the United States to get trained. If we're praying with them and we see breakthrough on our college campus and they get saved in their 4 years of education here,
Right.
they become missionaries when they go
Right,
back to their countries where nobody's allowed in, where the gospel cannot
Right,
penetrate
right.
in this hour. We're sending them back with the tools of day and night prayer for breakthrough in their region. And that's what we really want to see happen on the college campuses, is people to get gripped with a vision for prayer and go back to their nations and start spreading the message of day and night prayer and what
It's
it can do.
good. It's really good.
And really this came out of the understanding of what we're doing at IHOP, because people would come and visit us, but I'm on a college campus. They love what takes place in here, believe in Luke 11, persistent prayer, Luke 18, persistent prayer. But it's not possible to go home and do a full missions base. And so this
Right.
expression grew out of, there's other ministries partnering with Luke 18, but that for us to turn a nation back to God, we don't need to better evangelism. We don't need better discipleship. Except we need actually to get before him in the place of prayer. That is the prerequisite. That is what actually does something in the
Yeah.
heavens.